testing out the microphone and the lighting. Cool. Alright, here it is, Epiphone Firebird Studio Follow Up. This is a bit overdue. I got this guitar about 3 months ago now. Just put new strings on it today, and just figured I'd get this video done and we could talk about this thing. So I made quite a few Swolas with this guitar. Now this is, as I just mentioned, a Firebird Studio. In the previous video I wasn't even really sure what it was, but what makes it a Studio is it has a set neck on the back here, and it has regular Alnico pickups in there. So a traditional Firebird is a through neck construction, so this is all one piece of wood, whereas this is two, and they have the Firebird pickups in there, which are like kind of like mini pickups. The specs on this one: mahogany body, mahogany neck. Obviously I got chrome hardware, stop tailpiece. The electronics, you have one volume and tone for each pickup, three-way switch right there. Now these tuners on here are interesting. They said they referred to these as banjo tuners, and yeah, so the tuning key is actually on the back of the guitar. I actually kind of like that look. I think that's really cool looking. So it actually looks more like that. And these are like a locking tuner. So as you turn the tuning peg, this mechanism here rises up, and then there's another piece here that loosens. That basically is a locking mechanism that allows you to lock the string down. So with these, it's a little temperamental and how much string you need when you're doing the restring. So you might have to go back and like adjust a little bit of string. With other locking tuners that I've used, you don't use any slack on the string at all. You pull it like as tight as you can, you lock it down, you're good to go. With this, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you need a little slack just to get to the proper tuning. You end up running out, because what's happening is these pegs right here, as you increase in pitch, these go down, and eventually they run out of room. And so that's as high as you can tune. So you really need to make sure that that's, you know, accounted for when you're doing the setup on this thing. Now with that, this is a 24 3/4 scale neck right here, which is actually really comfortable. There's a little bit of neck dive to these things, but the weight and it's really not, it's not too bad. I don't know. I think this guitar just has so much character, and that in itself inspires me. So how I have this set up right now, this is in drop C. I'm using these. This is Diodario. Let's get that in the light. There you go. So yeah, 11 to 56. This is something kind of cool. I just want to show. You know, I didn't buy this. I actually made this. It's just a piece of foam. Just cut a little notch in it. And then when you're doing a string change, you have the guitar. You have something to sit on, something for it to rest on. There you go. Just like, you know. Now all I need is a table. So one other thing I wanted to mention, there's you know, these like cheap kits for like maintaining your guitar, like, on like different websites and stuff. And one thing you got to be careful, you get these fret guards. These are good, however, you want to make sure that the edge isn't sharp, because if it's sharp and you put it down onto your fretboard, it could eat into the fretboard. So a little tip right there, definitely don't want that to happen to anyone. Another cool little thing, not really a requirement or anything, but it's nice to have when you're doing string changes and working on like electronics and stuff, is just like one of these little like practice amps that are battery powered. This is the Spark Go. It's pretty cool. You know, it's got a tuner built in and everything, so you just need your phone. Yeah, that's set up. Another thing I wanted to mention, didn't mention in the previous video, you know, I get I get some stuff off of Guitar Center. Yeah, I like to buy used gear from Guitar Center, and you know, I don't always see this kind of thing. Just a little thank you. You know, somebody like taking, you know, ownership of packing the instrument and sending it out. I like to see that. That means, like, you know, they at least care. So that's that guitar. Yeah, okay. So behind me I got a Reaper session going. And I got the Neural DSP Gojira plugin. Just got a fresh set of strings on here, so what I'm going to do is just plug in, play some riffs. So in conclusion, this was kind of a little experiment for me, and what did I learn? I learned that, you know, trying, you know, something like this is not necessarily a metal guitar, but it's still very cool, and you can still play metal riffs on it. It's still very, yeah, it's a guitar, what am I saying? it's badass. This thing is just sick, man. I like it. I don't know what else to say in a video of about a guitar that I bought, but I'm real happy with it. I got the fret wrap on here. I think that's pretty important when you're doing metal riffs with this guitar. Having one here would be good too, unless you're trying to do those Eddie Van Halen riffs. You know, you're gonna need that. So, you know, I want to do those Eddie Van Halen riffs. I'm gonna need that. But if you're tracking, you really should have both of these. Like, you don't want any ringing happening other than the notes that you're trying to play. One thing that I think is important is that different guitars will bring out different performances. They'll bring out different riffs. One other thing, and while I was getting this all set up, these tuners, while they look very cool, I don't necessarily think they're the most practical in terms of locking tuners. And I'm not affiliated with any brands or anything, but like a hip shot locking tuner, I would say is definitely probably a better way to go. You know, there's other locking tuners that are great too, I've just had good experiences with those tuners. So like I was mentioning before, with these, you could run out of room essentially when you're tuning. So there's like a, as you're stretching out the strings, you then need to increase pitch to get the guitar in a tune. And if that runs out and you cut your strings too close, you're going to run into a problem where now you're going to have to loosen it back up and press down on the string over here. You want the string to be tight, and then you want to retighten this and then tune it back down. But the problem with that is that you've already crimped the string, and so it might not grab. I got lucky just now. I just ran into that problem. I got lucky. What I ended up doing was that exact thing. And then as this pull piece drops down, it grabbed. And so I was able to, keep this string. Otherwise, if it's not going to grab and the string's already crimped, you're going to need a new string. So that's one thing to mention about these tuners. They do look very cool though, must admit that. I do like that. So yeah, we got Neural DSP Gojira. This is just the default setting. Save it up to the amp wall. That's new endeavor right here. It's called cleaning up my room and making this place a little bit more functional. I got really used to my Jackson soloist guitars, then I started playing the Monarch, and I was surprised the Monarch neck is actually like faster than the soloist guitars. I picked up a soloist after playing the Monarch and the neck felt like a baseball bat. It was like, blew my mind. It was the craziest thing. Anyway, this I kind of preferred like that. Like I wouldn't really want this to be a shred guitar. Kind of like defeats the purpose of what this is in my mind anyway. But it's cool to play metal riffs on it. That's how I'm looking at it. And it kind of like brings out a different side of it because it's a little more old school. I think this thing sounds pretty cool. Let me know what you think. And I gotta figure out where I'm gonna hang a guitar in here. So with that, I'll leave you to it. Good night.